Ladies and gentlemen, lads and lasses, welcome back to our first official Second Age show of 2025. And we are hoping to ring the new year in. And on this Second Age show, we have a superstar panel lined up for you guys to go over some kind of breaking news that we think you guys are going to be excited for. So, first, introducing from the panel, my notes here says we have Shiv Knight. D, welcome.
Hello, hello. It's great to talk to someone other than Strider for once.
Well,
But
And speaking
we
of,
appreciate Strider.
Strider is typically the host with the most who has led us through many streams of 2024. Strider, welcome.
thank you very much. Love it to be here. And yeah, as Shiv says, like it's good that we are not recording, one on one. We have a third person here, and three is a party. So looking forward to this one, especially because it's pretty cool news.
Yeah, I think it is exciting news. I don't mind being the third wheel, and maybe we'll have 3 or 4 ideas that you guys will agree or maybe disagree with for what the breaking news is. Now, it is a new year, and I want to get right into business. So let's go ahead and break down exactly what we have for you. You see, we found out that Amazon or Prime Video, they are casting and they're currently looking for actors in their 30s. The code name for the role of the main cast that they are looking for, not a secondary or a tertiary character, main. His name is Arlen, and he is looking to be a highborn knight. Now, for those of you on the Fellowship of Fans Discord, I did try to tease through some gifts. 3 gifts in a row that said highborn knight. Nobody got it. Nobody got it, and that's okay. But hopefully you guys can help us come up with some theories for who this can be. Now, we did find multiple cast listings like this, but we thought that this one was the most fun and the best one at this current time. And that's why we're bringing it to you today. Let's go ahead and start off with Strider. For a highborn knight in their 30s for season 3 of the Rings of Power, who do you think this character could be?
Well, my good sir, I'm just gonna go right ahead and open up really, really strong with my boy, Glorfindel. Highborn Knight, right? Glorfindel, he's not a lord, all right? He's really cool. He's not a lord. He doesn't rule a realm. What he is a badass highborn knight. If you describe Glorfindel as a highborn knight, you nailed it. This is who he is. He is a knight. Knight of these romantic tales of Arthurian legends. He has this ideal image of a knight, and he could be this role. And let's not forget, on one of the, I believe it was San Diego Comic Con, when showrunners were asked about the chance of Glorfindel being in the show, it was said, yes, I do not have the video, but you can look it up. It is said that it was confirmed that he will show up in the show. So Highborn Knight sounds exactly like Glorfindel. Um, there's a lot to say about him. He's a really cool dude. The only elf that died and came back to Middle Earth. Really, really cool. One of the basically the sixth of the Starry in a way, like the unofficial sixth member, because he came with the 2 blue wizards to Middle Earth to help out. He does a lot of cool stuff. He fights against Angmar. He makes the famous prophecy of the Witch King. He does a lot of really cool stuff, and he has so far been slighted by many, and probably like no other, because he was cut out not in one adaptation of Middle Earth, but in 2. Ralph Bakshi's The Lord of the Rings animated movie, and then the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So it's high time that this dude finally shows up. We got it confirmed from the showrunners that he will show up at some point, and now we have this casting. And if I had to make a bet and also say a prayer, both ways is Glorfindel for me. This is my hope. But I want to I want to hear your comments. What do you two think, and how realistic is this?
Shiv, what do you think in response to that? What are on a 1 to 10 scale, how likely do you feel that this character would be Glorfindel?
Oof.
And do you want it to be Glorfindel? If the answer is no, don't tease who you'd want it to be, but What do you think is the likelihood that this fits him?
I'll go with a solid 6 to 7. It's Glorfindel. Um, I would want it to be him, like just as Strider said, like he's been kind of cut out of every adaptation so far, so it'd be really cool to see him on screen. But I do have my money on a different character, and we'll find out if I go broke in a second.
I will say, as a dwarf fan, as somebody who doesn't really care for elves in general, this is the one I would really like to see finally make his way into the show. Just some of what he's done and what he can do. As Strider pointed out, some of the history. I just think he's too epic of a character to be over 3 in Tolkien adaptations. Like, we need to get him in here. It's the right time to do it. You mentioned the blues. We know from interviews that happened in the off season that the Dark Wizard is meant to be a blue wizard. Have the blues here. Let's go ahead and bring in Glorfindel as well and allow him to do some really awesome things in the show. However, not everybody's going to be sold on Glorfindel. And if I had to guess, there's going to be people out there who would like another elf. But from my notes here, I think it was saying you have a different pitch that isn't an elf of somebody you would like it to be. Who is that, sir?
Well, hopefully some people agree with me. I just feel like when I heard Arlen as the code name
Mhm.
in Highborn Knight, my brain instantly went to Anarion. Now, there is some kind of things to work through with that. So my pitch is Anarion and Isildur, they kind of found Gondor and they're kind of their thrones are side by side. So at some point they do become very noble. So I'm assuming when they're casting someone, they got to think about the entire story arc. So someone has to start at whatever point it's going to be like a low level ranking officer or whatever, all the way up to what he becomes. So I feel like it could be Anarion. Like they set up a Isildur kind of like in the show. It almost seems like he looks up to his brother whenever he's like hinted at or mentioned. He's like, "Oh, I want to go over to the west. I want to be with him." All that stuff. So I really feel like it could be him. But yeah, I guess where I have bias too, I don't know if you guys would agree or disagree. When I hear the word knight, I usually think of the human race. I don't typically think of elves or dwarves. I don't know if that's something
What?
you guys think. So maybe I have a bias. Oh no, I have a bias. But when I think of knights, I think of humans at least. So, but if you think of Glorfindel, he's pretty BA, so I could see him being classified as a knight as well. So yeah, long story short.
I can definitely buy that he could play this, or he could be the character for the role, a highborn knight. The only thing, and I guess it really doesn't matter because they are being loose with timelines and relatives and
Mm,
stuff, where it says that they're looking for an actor in their 30s. And I think we had been talking previously, and Isildur's actor, I believe, is in his 20s. Is that right, Strider?
He's 29 at the moment.
Yeah. So, I mean, when they start filming, he may be 30, and this other actor could be, I mean, the range is, 30 to 39 if it's in the 30s. So it could be an older actor playing a character that I think should be younger than Isildur.
Mm.
But in the grand scheme of things, like in a show like this, does it really truly matter if like a character is a couple years older or younger? Strider, what do you think about this? Do you think this could be Anarion, and what do you think the likelihood is that it could be?
I think there's no doubt we're gonna see an Arion in season 3. That is a guarantee for sure. Elendil is headed that way. I am not sure that this rings like an Arion. So as you pointed out, it does say the actor is in his 30s. So the fact that this actor is in 30s, it means, they could be casting someone who's like 38, 39, like in later 30s,
mm,
meaning, and Anarion is the younger of the two brothers. And I don't see a reason why they would mess with this. Like, there's no particular reason why they would make Isildur the younger one, especially because you have the Isildur's heir in the movies, and they wouldn't want to suddenly shift this importance of Isildur towards Anarion and so on and so on. That's relative. That's relevant in the movies. So I feel like it doesn't quite ring true. The main thing is that the code name starts with an A. I guess it could be. To be fair, it could be. It is possible. A knight, I guess you could describe Anarion as some kind of a knight, but if we look at their family, Elendil's family in the show, it just doesn't fit that much. So I do think like the first thought I had was Glorfindel. The second thought was Anarion. Absolutely the same brain process as Shiv. But yeah, I think he's going to show up, but I don't think this casting call is for Anarion.
A little bit ago, I want to say it was a week or two, I was just scrolling through old leaks and I remembered that there was a page, I think it was Redanian, had original text from the audition tapes for some of the characters. And I was just looking over how much, like, very clearly the dialogue for when the stranger lands and the two Harfoots stumble upon him and they're talking about, do we bring him back? Do we leave him out here? But if we leave him out here, he might get, torn up by the wolves. It was like line for line the same text, but instead of wolves, it was a bear in the audition tape. Character names were different, obviously, because they were trying to hide it. I wonder if you want to argue that this could be Anarion and make it a stronger case, maybe the highborn knight, the knight is just a rank in something. And we know that he's, part of a religious group to the west. So maybe he's just a higher ranking religious figure out to the west, and it could be Anarion. I don't know. What I do know is that is both a worthy and convincing argument for a Numenorian, a worthy and convincing argument for an elf. Now let me give you guys a worthy and convincing argument. When I double back to this and I start reading, looking for an actor in their 30s, character is going to play a highborn knight. I think to myself, they had a young dwarf on the show that we didn't see in season 2. There's rumors there may be a time skip. Could there be a dwarf cast in their 30s? Maybe, I don't know, maybe Gamli, the son of Durin and Disa. And then I think to myself, I'm in my 30s. I'm fat. I got a beard. Maybe they put this out there.
What's that thing you got that on the wall?
Oh, you mean that Warhammer back there?
Oh yeah, is that the Dwarvish Warhammer? Oh my God, is that the Dwarvish crown? Oh no!
I'm just saying it's highborn, and Gamli would be a highborn, and I'm 30, 37, but turn 38 on the 20th. A little bit. I think the video will drop the day before my birthday. We'll see. We'll see when it goes out. Maybe we'll hold it just to be rude. But maybe this is just Amazon leaking this politely so that I will reach out to them and be like, I think I want to audition for that role. On a serious note, though, a character that does make sense from the Dwarven realm that would be a highborn and might be doing some knightly things elsewhere could be Durin's brother, who we have not seen in the show, but they made reference to him at the end of season 2, coming back to challenge for the claim of running Khazad-dûm and leading the dwarves. We don't have a name for that character yet, but we obviously know that this character is coming for season 3. So maybe from a Dwarven standpoint, they will be bringing in Durin's brother, and this could be the casting call for that character.
And Omo, if you hear this now, edit that face to be Varking.
Yes, please.
Omo,
you're my
please do that.
You're my boy. You're my boy. Now, we started off with Glorfindel, and that is who I think it is most likely. But I know the community for a long time has been asking since even before season 1 started, where is Celeborn? Do either of you believe that maybe he would fall third or fourth on this list of this could be him? Could somebody describe Celeborn as a highborn knight?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, you could very much describe Celeborn as such, especially because it is around this time that Galadriel. I mean, the story Galadriel Celeborn is notorious for being the most rewritten tale, probably the most rewritten tale, if not the most, then definitely one of the most rewritten tales of Tolkien. So there's a couple versions. However, it is around this time that Galadriel and Celeborn take over. Actually, I think maybe like early Third Age or so. So after the show would end, that they actually take over Lothlorien. So having Celeborn described as a highborn knight, because he's a highborn elf of, from Doriath, the hidden kingdom of King Thingol. Um, Describing him as a highborn knight at this time of his life would actually be pretty spot on, because he would be a highborn. He would not be a lord. He would be actually occupying a similar position as Glorfindel, like in the hierarchy of the Elvish society. So could be. Celeborn is quite a fighter, actually, even though we don't really see this during the Lord of the Rings. The man's been in some battles and wars. To name one, in the books, he's one of the people in the defense of Eregion, which we saw at the end of season 2. So, Celeborn described as a highborn knight, actor cast in the 30s when Morphy Clark is. I'm not sure how old she is. She looks quite ethereal already, but I don't know, like late 20s maybe? She's around there. So, anyway, casting a character played by an actor in the 30s would absolutely fit perfectly with the Celeborn that would fit with Morphy Clark's terrific Galadriel. So yeah, I think that's also a pretty spot on actually comparison there. I don't know what you guys think about it. Did I miss maybe anything?
Shiv, what do you think? You think this could be Celeborn? Do you want it to be Celeborn?
Yeah, now I'm like second guessing myself. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Also, be careful because the half the fandom will hate you if you say a wrong answer here.
oh no, oh
But
no,
whatever you
the
do, the other half
pressure.
will hate you anyway. So
Yes.
Mark can put you on the spot
Uh,
now. He basically destroyed you. So
Yeah.
just make the choice.
You're welcome.
You know what? What if I just take the safe answer and say I think that it's equally likely to be Celeborn as it is to be Anarion?
Ah, I think that's fair, though. I do think that that is fair. I know the fandom would love for them to come out and just announce Celeborn will be in season 3, and here is the guy who is playing him. I think the sooner we get to that, the happier the fandom will be. That way, there's not so much guessing and potential to. I think when you start fan casting these people, like even if they just announced, I think for season 2 they were like, "Hey, here's 7 or 9 new characters coming to the show or new actors," but they didn't say what the roles were. People start like pigeonholing them to be a specific character, and then when they're not that one, they're a little bit let down. So I would like to see Prime Video when they do announce some new actors, put the names of the characters that they're going to play as well. It doesn't need to be a surprise anymore as we head into season 3. So hopefully that will eliminate some of the frustrations in the fandom. Now we've given, I think, some 4-ish good quality answers here, but I'd like to open the floor up and just ask, is there maybe like an original character you guys think this could be where it's not a named character that we know? Shiv, let's go ahead and start with you.
So I got one theory there is it could be some knight that will later become a Nazgul because we're getting into season 3. We really got to start to introduce characters like that who are going to get the ring, eventually get corrupted, blah, blah, blah. So I think it would make sense to start to get characters like that introduced. So I could put my money there too. Could end up being a future Nazgul.
Yeah, I
Shredder, do
think
you think the
that's
time is right for a Nazgul character?
yeah, exactly. I think that's like high priority actually for the show, especially because the 9 rings will probably be given out in this third season. So having a couple of powerful characters among men to step up, and stand out among all the Numenorians, for example, would be quite a high priority story-wise. And I would like to throw in one more thing there as well, because perhaps it's one of the Easterlings. Because we have only touched upon the story in Rune, and it's so there was this whole build-up in season 2. The Gandalf and the Dark Blue Wizard had a clash. There was that group of Rune marauders that showed up, and so on and so on. So, and there was like a lot of hints towards other stuff, like to a deeper story happening there. And I think we're gonna get some pretty big Rune characters. Let's not forget, actually, this just came to my mind. So the second in command of the ring wraiths is Kamul. He is from Rune. To cast a highborn knight as a big nobleman fighter knight in Rune, and have this person be Kamul, the Easterling, who later becomes one of the ring wraiths, that is actually a spot-on role that fits this exact casting. Especially because early theory, there was a mention of those Rune people having some curse set on them, curse upon their flesh or something.
Mm-hmm.
So what if Sauron shows up and says, "Hey, you noble knight, I will give you this ring, and with this ring, you will be able to free your people from the Dark Wizard. But you gotta take the ring." And then he takes the ring, he liberates his people, but then he falls under Sauron's control. Early theory. But yeah, so I'm just gonna throw this out there. But I think this option, original character, extremely likely, might be even the likeliest one in a way. It could fit with the men. It could fit with the men of Numenor. It could fit with Men of Rune as well. I think quite easily. I
I
think there's a
actually
lot
think
of room there.
as you were talking, I'm now convinced that this is probably the most likely thing. It makes sense. It gives them a reason to be around. It advances their plot. It gives them a reason to want the ring to get healed and then maybe get a little payback on the Dark Wizard for not helping them out and killing some of them towards the end of season 2. It does make a lot of sense. My I have one more off the wall and then a challenge for the community. So my off the wall thinking is in season 2 we found out Glug, who I would assume is a high ranking knight type character in Adar's army. Glug had a child. And I don't know how Uruk's age, but if he was, kind of like a royal higher up in the orc army, maybe this kid is born as a highborn knight, and we'll see him pop up at the end of season 3, wanting his revenge on Sauron for taking out his daddy and ruining his family dynamic. Again, I know that's off the wall, but I also have an off the wall challenge for the community. We've pitched humans, elves, dwarves, you know, Numenorians, original characters, characters from the lore, even an orc. If anybody out there can figure out a way to tie this back to a hobbit or a Harfoot of some kind, not only will you be a legend in my eyes, because you will give me ammunition to go troll the community so hard, but if you can find it, there may be a gift or a prize that I can dole out to you for helping me in this endeavor. I want to meet, I want to learn about the highborn knight, the high ranking Harfoot or Hobbit. Please, somebody out there, if you can find it, figure out a way to tag us in it. When I see it, I promise I'll try to make it worth your while. That's all I'll say. Before we
I'll jump in there.
Okay.
I don't know. This is probably gonna make a lot of fans hate me for not knowing this, but what age was the ancestor of Frodo and Bilbo that he tells the story that he invented the game of golf because he was fighting like a goblin, chopped his head off, right?
Yeah, he was. I think his name was Bandabrastuk, but that was in the
Very
timeline. That's
brief.
like still like more than 2,000 years in the future. So probably not him.
Is that the one
But
who
they could
invented golf?
play that. They could play some kind of a ancestor. Who knows?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Also, something we didn't think about was this highborn knight in their 30s could be, they said in the interview I got to do with the showrunners that they like this format of kicking off each season with a flashback. This could be something we see in flashback for whoever the opening character POV is for season 3. And I didn't think of that until we were recording right now.
Ooh, that is a great idea. That opens up a lot.
But yeah, let us know in the comments what your theories are, who you think this could be, who you want it to be, or if there's a specific one you don't want because you just like chaos. Um, let us know. Let's have some fun with it. Let's have something new to talk about. And if you guys are good, maybe we'll drop another one of these in a handful of more weeks. Try to spread it out because we probably have a long off season ahead of us while we figure out when they're going to start filming season 3. But there's more where this came from. In closing, though, we would like to put out a little call to arms. You see, behind the scenes, this what we do, this is all volunteer work. And every season we are looking to make things better than the previous season as much as we can. We're trying to take as much off everybody's plate as possible. So if you guys have seen us grow, which we have, the Twitter has like 70,000 followers, we have like over 10,000 YouTube subscribers. Our Fellowship of Fans public Discord server is booming with activity. If you are somebody who's thought at some point anywhere along the way, man, it would be cool to be in Fellowship of Fans, we would like to have you. And we have an opening for many, many roles, whether you want to be on audio as we start doing podcasts more, if you want to be on video for the YouTube stuff and be on the Second Age show, if you want to be a writer and write articles for the website, if you want to be somebody who just hunts down news so that others can make the content about it, there is a role for you on the team. Are you somebody who likes being on social media, posting memes, or coming up with little Canva designs so we can get news out in a prompt manner? Let us know. The beacons are lit, and we would love to have you be a part of our team. We will have a form that you can fill out so we can get in touch with you and discuss the opportunities that we have here at Fellowship of Fans. And again, it's been a wild ride so far. I think most of the people on this team would tell you it 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago, it would be crazy to think that Fellowship of Fans is where it is. But a huge portion of why we've gained the momentum we have is because of the community. You guys have been invaluable to us and you've lifted us up so much. We'd love to have you be a part of the team. If not, we'll still be around and you'll still be able to interact with us on places like Discord, our social media handles, and definitely in the YouTube comments as we like to do, especially when we're doing live streams and reading the comments from you guys. It's like kind of like the highlight of that week whenever we're getting to do that. Strider, did I miss anything?
Well, I would just add to this absolutely amazing call to arms. It's not just the Lord of the Rings related. If you like the world of Game of Thrones, if you're into Marvel, if you're into Star Wars, DC, Star Trek, The Witcher, whatever. If you're just a fellow nerd who just wants to nerd out about cool stuff that's happening around, this is it. We want to talk about other stuff, not just the Lord of the Rings, even though that obviously stays our main thing, because this is the thing that binded us all together in the first place. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff coming up in the next couple of years in all of these crazy fandoms. And if any of this is of interest to you, the application is in the description of the video. Fill it out. If you want to write one article every 4 months. Cool. That's all. You do not have to put out an article every week. If you want to post some memes every once in a while that are relevant to whichever fandom you like, that works. It's all, as Martin said, we are here on a volunteer base to have some fun, and whatever of these nerdy things is the thing for you, you are more than welcome. We look forward to hearing from you.
Strider, thank you so much for adding on to that call to arms. Well said. Shiv Knight, do you have anything you'd like to say to the community as we kick off our first video for 2025?
Sure. Yeah. To tack on to the call to arms real quick. In the beginning of 2024, there was a call to arms, and I was kind of hemming and hawing. Should I apply? Should I give it a shot? But I actually applied early 2024 to Fellowship of Fans, got accepted, and within a year, cut to me interviewing Philippa Boyens and the cast and crew of War of the Rohirrims, like something I never dreamed would be possible in my lifetime. So I highly recommend, like, even if if you feel like you're capable of doing the different tasks we have listed there, definitely apply because there's openings and we want to see you. And on the future front, like, I look forward to talking to both Varking and Strider some more on future nerdy topics. Look forward to any like additional shows outside of the Middle Earth fandom as well. Like Strider and I have talked on a handful of things now: the Penguin, House of the Dragons, Dune Prophecy. So we're definitely expanding where we can, and we love nerding out on different shows. So look forward to all those future conversations.
And just tagging on to the end of that, we're not looking for numbers or anything when these video ideas pop up. It's just an opportunity for a handful of nerds to get on camera or just grab the mics and, like you said, talk about the Penguin or talk about Superman coming up. Or if there's any interest in the group that goes like 3 or 4 people are interested in the same thing, it doesn't have to be Tolkien related. We would love to have you be a part of it and enhance. Sometimes you do these videos for every week, twice a week for like 90 days straight, and it wears on you a little bit and it's tedious because it's the same thing over and over and over. And then you get to kind of break up that monotony by doing these different videos about the other shows that have come out or other news about a book or whatever. It would definitely be cool to have more of you involved with that. Strider, appreciate having you on. Always being so gracious, doing some of the assets for us as we were going through this, handling the back end like such a professional. And any words of wisdom for our fans?
I've got none. I think we said it all. You two have covered everything, and it's always a pleasure. I just love being around and talking about nerdy stuff. And whoever's listening to this, if you want to talk about some nerdy stuff, and maybe you don't have people around to talk about this one specific thing, well, chances are you can join us. You can find, when you join us, you can find one of those people among us, and you are more than welcome.
All right, guys, that's it for us here at Fellowship of Fans. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's given you something new to talk about in the fandom for a little bit.